All right, everyone, welcome back into another props video. Today, we're going to be touching on the top prop bets for round one of the RBC Heritage on PrizePicks. Let's go ahead and get into it. And so, crazy, guys, I'm coming out with a props video for PGA on Monday. I mean, that is crazy. That typically doesn't happen. That just kind of tells you that if they could, they would. And I do think we're actually getting some pretty good advantages because of that. I already have highlighted a couple of bets I'll be touching on in this video. I think we're getting some pretty good edges for some under bets. First and foremost, if we just go ahead and take a peek at kind of the logs here that PrizePicks has provided, we're going to notice that the lines that they currently have really don't make sense based off of, kind of just looking at their logs. Now, typically speaking, I don't really care about that. And I'll touch on a partial reason as to why I think they're giving us these lines. But what we're seeing here is that at basically 5 birdies or better, I do think 6 birdies is going to be difficult to get for someone like Xander, for someone like Collin Morikawa, and someone like Obear as well. And so all these golfers where we could potentially be betting on their under 5 birdies or better, I think those have a good chance to be a push. Whereas if we look like someone like Patrick Cantlay over 4.5 birdies or better, I think there's also a good chance that he is able to get to 5. It's just getting to that extra 6 one with these golfers that are at 5 birdies or better, I think is a difficult ask for a lot of those golfers. And then we look at some of these strokes props, and they are certainly interesting as well. I do think that Patrick Cantlay, he is someone that does grade out pretty well this week overall. He's someone that does have good course history here. Like, this is a course that if you play boring golf, you are typically going to play well at this event, which is Patrick Cantlay to a T. He's finished third, and second as well. He's going to be a top 5 staff hit as well, so I do expect him to play well. You can see based off just the DraftKings pricing that is kind of what they're expecting they're expecting him to play well, but they are expecting him to be a slight drop off from Scotty, Obear, Morikawa, and Xander. But I also think that there's a good chance that he is able to shoot 3 under par. And again, I think 68 would be correct for him. I think if you're telling me that all these golfers on the top end are going to get to 5 birdies or better, I also think that these should all be like 0.5 lower. Okay, if you are giving me those lines. Okay, so one of them are probably wrong. And again, I think with Cantlay, you could bet is over 4.5 birdies or better, but I do think there's a good chance that he is able to just get to 68. Now with that, let's actually just take a peek at what the 9 to 5 data is telling us are going to be some good bets. And so yes, because the Scotty Scheffler line is so much higher than all the other golfers, it is telling us to bet the under 5.5 birdies or better. That is fine, but I actually might be more on the side of betting on these unders for Obear and for Xander Schauffele as well. Now, you could also do Collin Morikawa as well. Again, the bet there is basically them not to get to 6 birdies or better. Okay, so the bet is them basically, all right, this one has a good chance to be a push. Just getting that 6th extra bogey or birdie is going to be difficult to do. Now, we should talk about really why the lines are as high as they are. And I think the reason why they are as high in terms of birdies or better and maybe not as low as you would think for strokes. Well, one, this is a course where you are going to be able to score some birdies. Okay, we do see that, but I think it's mostly just because of the weather. Conditions are kind of ideal on Thursday as it currently sits, but to me, looking at the weather, they are basically saying that the weather's not going to play a factor. If it were to get any windier, let's say it gets up to maybe 15 mile per hour winds, which again, it's not in the forecast for that, but if it were to, those lines would then adjust. It probably would be 4.5 birdies or better for most of the top end golfers. The scoring strokes might actually go up a little bit. So I do think that they're not really factoring in the weather at all. And so that is where these birdies are better for 5. I actually think I'm okay getting to their unders a little bit more so. Now, if we take a peek at the average birdies are better as well, it's only about 4.2 if you really want to, 4.127. Okay, so really not that much there. And that's just taken off of last year's data because last year it was a limited field event, a signature event as well. And so that's really just factoring in the reduced field in there. So we're not getting a slightly skewed sample with maybe some golfers that didn't make the cut that played poorly. And so that is a pretty low birdie number. And so again, getting 2 more birdies from all those golfers, which they are the top end golfers in the field, don't get me wrong, but that does seem like a more difficult ask. Now, I should call it that the scoring average is 69.35, which you know, for some of the top end golfers to finish 1 or 2 strokes lower than that, that's not too much of an ask. So again, that's kind of why I like some of the prop bets that are being pulled in. Now, I would love to give you guys some underdog prop bets as well, but we're just not getting any that are worthwhile. Like these average finishing position prop bets, if you were to compare them to DraftKings or just any other sportsbook, the payout is typically much worse on underdog. And so they're just typically not worthwhile. Now, I do want to call out some of the prop bets that we are getting. And for that tournament, just as an FYI, like they're basically putting everyone at 20.5 for their finishing position. And some of these golfers are actually good golf picks on the week. So I do find that interesting. There is actually a little bit of value, I think, in some of those lines. And so if we go ahead and take a peek at just the 9 to 5 cheat sheet, like we could potentially find some decent edges here. Ben Griffin potentially to finish top 20, Chan Kim, Keith Mitchell, Harry Hall. Those are all players that we're actually getting okay odds on underdog. And for the most part, the payouts are actually going to be a little bit better. So I don't mind that route as well, but that would feel like we're forcing those bets a little bit. Now, if you guys do want to place any of those bets on underdog, you can do that. If you guys have never signed up for Underdog before, make sure to use the promo code 925 spelled out. That'll give you guys a 50% deposit match on anything up to $2,000. It also kick back some money my way to the channel as well. It's just an easy and simple way to help yourself, but also help out the channel. Same thing with PrizePicks as well, guys, where it's going to be the number 9 TO5. That'll give you guys $50 instantly when you spend your first $5. Again, easy way to help out the channel, and only if you're interested in joining those. Links are in the description for both of those. Now, the bet of the day for round 1 on PrizePicks is a simple one. Just a 2-slip bet there. Patrick Hanley getting to 68 strokes, and then Obear to not get to 6 birdies or better is really the bet there with both of those. Now, I do want to call it, the reason why I'm doing these two is because I don't want to pair. I think the better bet would be under 5 birdies or better for all those other golfers. But once we start pairing more of those together, then we're actually reducing our payout. So really the optimal approach. And I'm actually going to use the 9 to 5 mobile PrizePicks Underdog cheat sheet for you guys, which is just another tab included in there as well. And more for mobile devices, not as detailed, but a lot of times people are just looking for simple looks in terms of what are the best prop bets. So really the best application of what we should be doing would be something like this one here, which is a League of Legends prop bet. And we're getting a pretty big prop line difference between PrizePicks and Underdog, where PrizePicks has us at 2.5, Underdog at 1.5. That should never be off by that much. So decent little edge there. Maybe you're someone that wants an MLB prop bet, and you could do Byron Buxton for over his fantasy score of 5.5. Again, just clear edge here, guys. The underdog line has it at 7.5. The average sportsbook line has it at 6.94. So a little decent edge there as well. Again, that's going to be up for you guys. Again, that's the same stuff that you guys would typically see on the 9 to 5 PrizePicks Underdog cheat sheets, just a little bit more mobile friendly. Now that's going to do it for this video. I do want to remind you guys of the 9 to 5 membership. If you guys want access to any fantasy golf tools or the PrizePicks Underdog prop tools, all the tools available on the 9 to 5 website are available for just $10 a month. All the days are already curated for you guys as well to simply lay out what are the best picks and bets each and every day and week. Thanks for watching, guys. Good luck with all your bets. And as always, let's keep cashing.